Hello, thank you for watching. I recently watched a Tulsi Gabbard town hall style campaign event. It was a few months old. I put it on my YouTube watch later list and got around to it recently. One of the questions in that town hall is the point of my video right now. A person tried to get Tulsi Gabbard to denounce equal representation in the Senate. Well, the person wouldn't have appreciated that description of what they were trying to get her to denounce, but right now in the United States of America, every state gets 2 senators because we are supposed to be a collection of states, independent entities which have their own rights and powers, and are not supposed to be bossed around, at least in all subjects, by the federal government. Every state gets the same number of senators. Now there's a second part of the legislature, or 2 parts. Second part where how many people the states send is based on the population of the state. So we have a perfect mixture there. Tulsi Gabbard, to her credit, talked about the good things about the equal representation. We have a republic in the United States of America. We are not supposed to have a pure democracy, and that's a good thing. Pure democracies have downsides. Although some of the people who don't like our republic aspects of our government, they don't want us to have a pure democracy. They want us to have a corruptocracy, where they commit voting fraud to win elections every year by having many millions of votes that are made-up votes, that are combinations of dead voters, people that don't exist, people who didn't vote but somebody else voted for them without their knowledge, all various combinations of illegitimate votes, or illegal aliens who aren't even supposed to be here, let alone be voting here. To those of you, well, and there's another similar aspect of the Constitution. A lot of people who don't want equal representation in the Senate for the states also denounce the Electoral College. Every 4 years, this is one of those years, 2020, we are having a presidential election this year. We vote on who will be the president. It's not a pure, the voting method and counting method is not purely, just what's the total number of voted nationwide for and against the different candidates. We have the Electoral College, which means the voters in the states have their votes counted, and the candidates are trying to win the different states. And the Electoral College is a good thing. It's a great thing. But my question to those of you who want to get rid of the Electoral College and get rid of equal representation in the Senate is this: why should any state remain a part of the Union and not secede if we do that, if we get rid of those things? If we get rid of those 2 things, equal representation in the Senate for the states and the Electoral College, then California and New York will decide who wins the presidency. Every year, presidential candidates will fly from New York City to Los Angeles to San Francisco, back to New York City, maybe hit Boston too, maybe not. No. Boston Massachusetts has 1 big city. New York City is so big it's like several big cities. And when it comes to voting on whether we're going to ratify treaties, who to be at war against or at peace with, the small states will have no say if we have representation in the Senate based on population and not equal representation for the states. When our nation was founded, there were 13 colonies that ratified that first constitution. Those 13 colonies were independent states. They didn't have to. They had not formed a government, a strong central government yet. The smaller states like Rhode Island and Delaware and Connecticut, they decided to join this country, be a part of it, because of those two parts of the Constitution that guaranteed they would not be ignored and abused by the bigger states, by Pennsylvania and Virginia. At the founding of the country, it was Pennsylvania and Virginia that were the biggest states that would have bossed everyone else around. Alrighty, so that's my question. Why should any state stick around if that changes? That would be a very big change. And hopefully it doesn't happen. It should not happen. If it does happen in the future, those states would have a strong argument for not being hassled with bureaucrats in Washington, D.C. anymore. But a related question, at what point do you say a deal has been changed so much that you get to back out of it? And that's the underlying issue here, is when does the deal get changed so much that you get to back out of it? Maybe you can put your thoughts or hypothetical scenarios in the comments section. You know, a personal deal, a business deal, thought the marriage was going to be this way, but it's that way. At what point do you get to back out of deals? So thanks for watching. You have a good day.